What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Thomas. This is part 2 of the Buffalo Bills in a Perfect World. As I alluded to in the last edition, part 1, if the Buffalo Bills finish under 7-9, that is also due in part to the game's most important position, which is quarterback, obviously. The beat of the drum in the NFL is the quarterback. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, Carson Palmer, all those guys, they're in the playoffs. They're a part of a team that's in the playoffs. All of those guys are good quarterbacks. Obviously, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, you get the point. They're all good quarterbacks. You cannot and will never win in this league without a real quarterback. A guy that can command the offense, a guy that when asked to can really win you a football game. No matter who he's throwing to, no matter who is around him, he's the guy that sets the tone. He's the guy that's the fallback. He's the guy that leads the team. Is Tyrod Taylor that guy? When I say those things, is Tyrod Taylor the guy that you think of for the future? Not me. Not me. The Bills still need a quarterback. This deal, I well documented my opinion on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, up and down my newsfeed of my opinion on the structured deal that Tyrod Taylor was given. I'm not going to go into it anymore. I've beat it to death, and I don't want to beat it anymore. I don't want to beat the dead horse. The horse is like 6 feet under. I whipped the horse so much it's gone, just obliterated. So I'm not going to go into that. But what I will go into is the fact that I just simply do not believe that Tyrod Taylor is a franchise quarterback. A franchise quarterback is a Drew Brees, is an Aaron Rodgers, is a Tom Brady, is a Russell Wilson, is a Cam Newton. Those are guys that can stay healthy. Those are guys that you can count on for at least 8 to 12 years. Andrew Luck. There's very few in this league, and it's a rarity to find one. When you do, you don't have to give it a structured contract. You don't have to give that guy a structured deal. When you know, and you pay him. You don't have to give him a structured deal. A structured deal says that you're unsure, but you think so. That's not what I want for my Buffalo Bills. That's not what I want. If the Buffalo Bills finish under 7-9, the attention needs to be turned to the quarterback position once and for all. We have not had a decent quarterback that we have actually drafted since Jim Kelly, which was over 30 years ago. 33 years ago. 1983, 20 years ago since he debuted for the Buffalo Bills. We need a franchise quarterback. Guy that we can count on for the next 8 to 12, maybe even 15 years. My suggestion in the matter might not be the most popular. Might not be one that really can get people to not roll their eyes and say, oh God, what is he thinking? But really, who is the best quarterback in college football right now? Think about that. The best quarterback in college football right now, consensus would say that it is Chad Kelly of Ole Miss. He is entering his senior season, I believe, junior season. I had it written in front of me, lost it. Chad Kelly from Ole Miss. I honestly feel as if this story would be too good to be true. It's too good to be true. Redshirt senior, that's the part that always gets me confused. Redshirt senior. Obviously, he's not perfect. Obviously, he has had character issues over the course of his career collegiately. He was anticipated to be the starting quarterback for Clemson University. Was at Clemson from 2012 to 2013, then went to East Mississippi Community College. Had some troubles off the field, troubles in bars and things like that. But Jim Kelly was known to have a drink or two during his day, and Buffalo loved him for it. That's another story altogether, but, I mean, these kids are kids. They're not men they do make mistakes, and they are human. He's obviously righted the ship in his career with Ole Miss, and he is obviously an athletic specimen, a guy that really knows what he can do athletically. He's more mobile than Jim Kelly was in his day. Jim Kelly could move around, but not like Chad Kelly can. From the highlights, and not even the highlights, from the highlights I saw of him last year, and then start to finish of watching the Florida State game. It was a game that they were winning and they lost. I get that. But he commanded a no-huddle offense. And I could not help but think to myself, what if he was wearing the red, white, and blue like his uncle and commanded that no-huddle offense for the Buffalo Bills? Who would be against that? Who in Buffalo would say that that's a stupid idea? I mean, he's got that swagger to him. He's got that bad boy mantra. I get it. I get all that. But he would not be the starting quarterback of Ole Miss if he did not show any ounces of maturity from 2013 to 2016. Last year he had a great season, a fantastic season. Won big games against Alabama. The game against Alabama was a wild and crazy one. Obviously, he has had times in his life where he has made mistakes. He's made mistakes. But I honestly feel like this story would be too good to be true. And for a franchise that has had so many uncertain answers at quarterback, quote-unquote answers, we'll go down the line, Jim Kelly, then it was Todd Collins, then it was Rob Johnson, / Doug Flutie, / Rob Johnson, then Drew Bledsoe, then J.P. Lossman, then Kelly Holcomb, then J.P. Lossman, then Trent Edwards, then Ryan Fitzpatrick, then E.J. Manuel, and now Tyrod Taylor. The progression in which they've moved from quarterback to quarterback, what they've tried to find, what they thought they had, is not what wins in the NFL. Tyrod Taylor is not a guy that you can rely on to throw 45 passes in a game and win a game. I really don't believe he is. He has not shown me that. He did not show me that last year, and I don't know if he will this year. This year, their defense has such defensive flaws that the lack of depth that they have, Tyrod will be forced to throw the ball more than he did last year, and I honestly think we will start to see real mistakes made by Tyrod Taylor in 2016. You can book me to say that. If I'm wrong, but at least I have the quote-unquote cojones to put my opinion out on the line, put it out on the air, and say, that's what I believe. I think Chad Kelly would be a perfect fit in this area, and in actuality, I think for the crazy stunts that he's pulled the last few years while he was at Clemson, for the stuff off the field he's pulled, if he were to come back to Buffalo, I think it would be the best thing for him, being close to his family again, being close to an area that is near and dear to him, being a Buffalo Bills fan growing up. He would actually care about the community and not want to ruin his chance at really redeeming his image on a team and being that answer on a team that his uncle was the answer for 11 years and really arguably one of the greatest Buffalo Bills of all time. It's my dream scenario. It really is. And imagine if Bill Polian was the guy that drafted him. Imagine if Bill Polian was the GM that was drafting Chad Kelly. How amazing that would be, a full circle that would be for Bill Polian, for the Buffalo Bills, for Terry Pagula, for everybody. And if Rex Ryan was his coach, that would be pretty cool too. He'd supply him with the defense. Greg Roman wouldn't mind coaching, one of the best college quarterbacks in football. I think I'm on to something here. I really do. If they're finishing in the bottom 10, if they're picking in the top 10, they have to consider it. There's that crazy option in Tyrod Taylor's second year where he makes a $12 million base salary and a $15 million option. If that option is exercised, he'll get $5 million or $5 million extra added on, or $3 million extra for the next 5 years added on. $3 million extra added on for the next 5 years. That is not a good deal. And Tyrod Taylor might not even make it to year 3, even if they wanted him to, due to the fact that he cannot stay healthy. I have serious doubt. I really do. I have serious doubt, and it's not even a joke. I'm not even really joking. I make jokes about it and stuff like that. But I have to call it like I see it. I'm a realist. What I saw last year was what I saw. How I see things is how I see it. And I can't change my opinion just because I want it to be one way. Trust me, I would love for the Buffalo Bills to know who their franchise quarterback is. I would really enjoy that. But they do not. And I feel like Doug Whaley is really grasping at straws by signing Tyrod Taylor to this big extension to maybe even try and save his job, to make it appear as if they have something that they do not have. And that would be bad business judgment on Terry Pegula's part to entrust Doug Whaley to continue to run the operations of this franchise. To put the reins in this man's hands, when realistically, he has not supplied Doug Marrone with the right pieces to win on this team, and he has not supplied Rex Ryan with the right pieces to win on this team. And he has shown serious scouting flaws over the course of his career as the Buffalo Bills general manager. My dream scenario, call me crazy, call me whatever you want, but for Doug Whaley to be fired after this season, if they finish out, if they don't even make the playoffs, if they go 8-8 and miss the playoffs, do it anyway. Can Doug Whaley send him packing, tell him thanks, but no thanks, hire Bill Polian as the VP of football operations, and have him work with Terry and Kim and Russ Brandon at finding the possible GM, maybe Chris Polian, his son. That's the first guy that comes to mind. Have him really take a look at the roster, and Bill Polian can make his obvious adjustments from there. He's one of the most successful talent evaluators in pro sports history. Have him evaluate the roster from there. If it's not good enough, then, look at the game's most important position and look at the game's, one of the game's highest, highly touted collegiate prospects in Chad Kelly and draft him in the first round. It can only get worse. It cannot get any worse, I should say. It cannot get any worse. We've waited 16 years. If throwing a dart at a dartboard and hoping that Chad Kelly, hits Chad Kelly is the dart, you're hoping he hits the bullseye, I would take my chances on that rather than hoping that Tyrod Taylor is a starting franchise quarterback. That's my take on the Thomas take today. In a perfect world, what would I like to see happen for the Buffalo Bills? What do I anticipate for this coming season? Whether you disagree with me or not, you got to respect the fact that I put my opinion out there on the line. I put myself out there. I stick my neck out, really, to be judged by other people that say he's wrong, he's an idiot. That's fine. I'm not always right. I'm right probably 6 out of 10 times, I'd say. I would. I've called a lot of things that have happened in football and mixed martial arts and baseball, my 3 favorite sports. And, you got to respect the fact that I stick my neck out and broadcast my opinion. But that's my opinion. In a perfect world, what should happen in my perfect world for the Buffalo Bills? Take care, guys. Thank you for listening. Tune in for more.